Good morning from Detroit. This is Zack Hample here with you at Comerica Park, my 10th Major League Baseball stadium this season. Now, I drove in late last night from Toronto, got about 4 hours of sleep, so I am exhausted, but I'm also really pumped up because the Angels are here, which means that my favorite player, Mike Trout, is here. But the even bigger story, Albert Pujols. At this moment, he has 1,999 career RBIs. So hopefully he gets number 2,000 today, and hopefully it's a home run and I catch that baseball. It's a day game, the weather's gloomy, probably no batting practice, so just gonna try to catch a toss-up early, keep the streak alive, and then take it from there. Let's do it. Well, as predicted, no batting practice today. The tarp is on the field, but pretty cool to see the entire Tigers pitching staff out there warming up, doing their thing. Some guys doing some pretty cool drills. For the first time ever, I saw a pitcher pitching by stepping uphill onto a little platform. Buck Farmer was out there with his manly beard, best name in baseball. But the Tigers really weren't being generous with toss-ups. It took me until the very end to get one. Flipped up by pitching coach Rick Anderson. Then I noticed the Angels were on the field, so I headed down to the right field side, got one thrown over the protective nets by Andrew Bailey, so my second baseball of the day. And I just gotta talk quickly about the protective netting here. You can see it behind me. There's more netting at Comerica than any other Major League stadium. I think it is excessive, it's crazy, it ruins the fan experience. I talked about this last year. Makes it tough to get baseballs, tough to get autographs. There's nobody waiting for autographs down there. Well, maybe a few people if you can get a guy through the netting, but if you swing over this way, you can see that over here, that's really where everybody is waiting to get autographs. So you're like 250 feet from home plate. It's not too likely that guys are gonna go over there to sign, but fans are still hopeful. They're there for Trout, they're there for Pujols, Shohei Ohtani, anybody else that might come out. And right now it's, half an hour, 40 minutes till game time. There's some downtime right now. Might grab some food quickly. Definitely want to try to catch Trout when he comes out. And this place is great for foul balls, as I've shown. So hoping for some action behind the plate during the game. Might get out to left field when Pujols comes up. So all kinds of fun stuff about to happen. The rain is really coming down now. They just announced that the start of the game is going to be delayed. So what a perfect opportunity to wander around and find the most interesting thing in the stadium to eat. Well, I don't know about the most interesting, but this looks amazing. It's some chicken shawarma nacho thing over on the first base side. So yeah, there's chicken, pita chips, tomatoes, hummus, garlic sauce. I asked them to leave off the pickles and the lettuce, but man, this thing looks great, and I am about to dig in and wait out this storm.
Pitching today for the Angels, number 64, Felix.
Finally, the tarp is coming off the field. The skies have cleared up, and we are ready to play ball. It's already the top of the first inning right now, and the Angels have put a run on the board. The first three guys have all gotten on base, including Trout. On deck right now is Albert Pujols. You can see I'm way out here in left field, gonna move down a bit when he comes up. Like I said, 1 RBI away from 2,000. So I hope he blasts one in my direction, but if not, and he just hits a sac fly or something, that is still super cool. Only 2 guys ever in the history of Major League Baseball have gotten 2,000 RBIs. Hank Aaron and A-Rod.
2,000 baseball games, first one ever.
Well, Albert Pujols just blasted a home run for his 2,000th career RBI. Exactly what I was hoping for. He joins Hank Aaron and A-Rod as only the third player ever to reach that milestone. So huge congrats to him. Amazing to be here and to witness it. But I am super bummed, I have to say. I bought a seat out in left field. I was sitting in the third row. There was a little space down there. As I was saying earlier, guys have to hit it, you know, a significant distance just over the outfield wall even to reach the seats. So I was playing close up within the stands. Well, Pujols got all of it. That ball pretty much went right over my head, landed in the middle of this huge empty patch of seats. And I'd been thinking earlier of playing farther back where it was emptier. And if I had listened to my gut, it would have been a very simple jog to my right, backhanded catch. That baseball's worth, I would think, at minimum $50,000, could be $100,000. I mean, it's not about the money. I've never sold a baseball. I would want Pujols to have it, but to be so close yet so far. I mean, my one game here all season, the Angels happen to be here. Pujols happens to do it. The guy who did get the baseball with the bushy hair over there, I'm jealous of his baseball and of course of his hair. I don't really have much that I'm working with. Security went and found him right away, and they basically offered him a signed baseball in exchange for that ball. And he was even thinking of doing it, and I had to step in and just say, like, dude, come here, talk to me. And even his friends, he's with two other guys, they were skeptical. They were saying, we're getting robbed, even before I went there. So they kind of knew that the offer wasn't that great. And I told them, I'm like, you know, if you want to take that ball and sell it, that's a lot of money. And if you want to give it back, which is a nice thing to do, you should get 2 signed bats, 2 signed jerseys, 6 signed baseballs. They said they're from Detroit. I said, ask the Tigers to hook you up with tickets in the suites or whatever. And when the fan who got the ball said, you know what, we're not going to take your offer, security said, well, that's fine. You know, you can leave with the ball, but there's no way to authenticate it. You can't prove it. And I told him, I was like, you know, when I pulled him aside, I was like, don't believe that. My videographer got a shot of you getting it. There's TV cameras getting shots of you. Sure, it won't be officially authenticated, but if you send that ball to auction, like if the Tigers are not willing to make a good trade, believe me, people will bid on that baseball. So it's just, you know, it's just interesting to think about the historic implications, the monetary value, whether or not you sell it, it's fun to think about what you could get in exchange. In an ideal world, the player gets the baseball back, the fan gets hooked up with stuff. I've gotten 6 baseballs in my life, home run balls, that the players have wanted back. 5 of them were first career home runs. The big one was A-Rod's 3,000th hit. When you get a first career home run, the general trade is that you get a signed bat in exchange. But for a 2,000th RBI, are you kidding? And they only want to give the guy a signed baseball? That's not cool. So I hope they work it out. He's getting interviewed on TV, well-deserved. You know, when that ball went over my head, I was hoping for a crazy ricochet back at me, but it kind of rattled around in the deeper rows and it went right to him. I think he kind of corralled it, so I was very lucky just to even be here in the section, but very unlucky because Pujols hit it right over my head. So, you know, I was just in Toronto going for Vlad's first home run. He was looking bad for 2 games, then they sat him. So it's like, people think it's like I'm the luckiest person ever and how do I catch every ball, but there's so many close calls and so many games that I go to and they just don't hit anything. But it's like if you go to 80 or 100 games a year, eventually the luck is going to swing in your favor. So this one unfortunately did not, but still pretty cool to be here to witness it. So that's all I have to say. Albert Pujols is not the only Angels player to go deep today. There have been several other long balls, and the Angels are crushing the Tigers 9-0 right now in the 7th inning. And you know, it's kind of hard for me to even focus on the game because my brain is still in left field and what went wrong and what I could have done differently and how I wish I were sitting 10 rows farther back. But life goes on. I will say though that my luck has been atrocious today, even aside from that home run. The one foul ball that I went running forward down the aisle, my phone was in my back pocket, flew out, hit the pavement, screen cracked. And there have been other foul balls where I've just been held up, I was out of position, They hit it right where I was as Andrelton Simmons rips a double down the line. The Angels looked really bad when we saw them in Texas last month, and now they look like they're a first-place team. So that's baseball for you, and this is baseball for me. You know, some days are amazing, some days leave a lot to be desired, as Pujols is coming up yet again. This game is over, and it was a total blowout. 13-0 is the final score. The Angels won it and hit 5 home runs in the process. Of course, Albert Pujols was the big one with his 2,000th RBI. Tip of the cap to Tommy La Stella, who went yard twice. Now, earlier on, when I said that Pujols is just the 3rd guy ever to reach 2,000 ribbies, that's kind of true depending on who you ask. Babe Ruth really did knock in more than 2,000 runs, but Major League Baseball didn't really keep track of RBIs till 1920. Babe Ruth played a bunch of seasons before that, so they don't officially count. So Pujols, the 3rd player to do it, the 4th player to do it, either way, super impressive. Now, I got 2 baseballs early on, gave them both away, but they both count for my lifetime total, so that number is 10,776. As for me right now, as far as travel goes, just did 3 in Toronto, now this one in Detroit, flying home to New York City tonight, 2 Mets games coming up over the next 2 days. Crazy stuff, man. Thank you guys for watching. I'm losing my voice. I'll be back with another video very soon.